Hello, this is Carrier from Coloring Carrier, and I have another video for you today. Today I am back in front of the camera, which I don't like doing, but I'm back here. This time I wanted to talk to you guys about the video that is coming up, which has been available for patrons for a while now. Basically, I did a tour of an art store. I went to an art store and I asked them if it was okay if I did some filming, and they said yes, as long as the filming was very brief and I didn't show any other customers' faces or anything like that. So that's what I did. So I'm super excited about that. But because the video is so short, there's a lot of information that I wanted to talk about that I didn't actually get into doing in the actual video. The other thing about the video is, for the most part, when I film videos, I'm doing basically like I'm doing right now, where I'm talking as I'm filming. But in this case, this was the first video where I actually did a voiceover after the fact instead of while I was doing the video. So anyway, so there's that. And I want to do this video is because if you are like me, where you first get into art because of adult coloring books, you might never have been to an art store. I certainly hadn't before I got my first coloring book and went in there to try to get some colored pencils. And so my goal is to sort of provide the kind of information that I wish I had had at the time when I was looking to get my first colored pencils for my adult coloring books. Some art stores, not all of them, but a lot of them will let you actually swatch out the pencils, sometimes markers, pens. If they provide a piece of paper there for you, then it's there for you to actually try and use the materials that they're trying to sell you. So you can actually see if that's the color you want and that's the material you want. So that's awesome. And that's one of the big benefits of going to a physical store versus going online. Online, you just get a swatch or you get a picture of somebody's swatch. But if you go to an art store, there'll actually be paper there. Not all of them, but a lot of them. If they provide paper there, then it's okay for you to test it out. And they will, and you can try out and see for yourself if that's the actual color that you want or if that's the way it looks like, because the way it looks on the computer screen is not always the way it looks in person. So that's one of the big benefits of going to a physical store, to see that that's exactly what you want. The other things to keep in mind when you're going to an art store is a lot of the chain art stores, they will have web matching policies where if you sign up for their their discount card or whatever, they'll match the prices that it is online. So it's important to check out their web matching policies before you go to the art store, because sometimes it becomes extremely advantageous for you to buy things in person, where you both get the benefit of the online price, but you also get the item right away. So Dick Blick, their web matching policy is that they'll pretty much match any item, including shipping. So that. Another thing that I recommend is you go in with a list or a plan. If you just go in there willy-nilly, you're going to get overwhelmed and it's going to be crazy. So take the time at home before you go to set up a plan, decide if you want to look at colored pencils, decide if you want to look at papers, decide what you want to look at. And a lot of times it's easier to take things in sections, especially if your art store is relatively close to you. It might be easier to make multiple trips and do things in multiple items than to try to do it all at once your first time, because it might be a little bit overwhelming. So go in with a plan, decide if you want to look at colored pencils, if you want to look at paper, decide what you want to do before you actually go in. That'll make things a lot easier for you, because there's so much there, especially the art store that I did the video tour in. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Like I said, break things up into sections. Have a budget, because when you go there, it's literally like being in a candy store. It's insane how much is there, especially the art store that I showed in the video. It's crazy. They have so much of everything to get an online order. Anyway, so that's it. So go in with a budget, decide what you want to do. Don't be afraid to ask employees for directions and for help. They can be really helpful in terms of sort of giving you ideas about things you might not have thought about, that sort of thing. So don't be afraid to talk to the employees. A lot of artists themselves, so it's usually really helpful, to talk to them and to ask them for ideas, as well as to, get directions from them as to where what you want to get is located. if testing is allowed, don't be afraid to test. So that's about it. Right now, I'm going to stop and then play the video, and then I will be right back with some conclusions and some finishing thoughts. Large art stores like this can be extremely overwhelming. You'll see a lot of different things, things you've never even heard of. But don't get distracted. Ask an employee to show you where to locate whatever it is that you came here for, whether it be the markers, the colored pencils, pens, or any other medium that you came specifically for. Head straight over to that location and don't get distracted. Many art stores will have large pieces of paper for you to try the materials that you wish to purchase. Don't be shy. If paper is provided, then that means it's okay for you to try the materials. Remember to return anything that you've used. This store even has black paper for you to try your opaque white pens. Getting to try open stock pencils is one of the joys of going to a physical store. Dick Blick has their own brand of colored pencils for artists that you should totally try if you're at one of their stores. This store has many brands of sharpener, though I prefer the all brass sharpeners. This store has many varieties of eraser. If you're new to a specific medium, it can seem overwhelming in terms of the variety and kind, but for colored pencils, I prefer the gray kneaded erasers shown here. Because Prismacolors don't come pre-sharpened when you buy them open stock, we can't try those pencils, but there are other varieties that we can try. This store carries the full range of Faber Castell Polychromos pencils, so we can try all 120 colors. This store also carries a variety of Caran d'Ache colored pencils. There are several varieties of water-soluble pencils for you to try. However, we can only try them dry. I found shopping for fixatives to be extremely confusing. It really pays to do your research when it comes to fixatives. This is the one that I like. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at cases because that's not why I came here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I did say the video portion of the actual tour was short, but it was still a lot of fun to actually go to the art store and to film stuff. And I wasn't sure at all what kind of stuff to get to film while I was there, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys liked this video. I definitely want to give a big shout out to the patrons for supporting this channel and helping to make videos like this possible. There'll be a link for Patreon up there. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to share videos from this channel, especially if you're on Pinterest. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Stewie. Stewie. Hey, Stewie. Where's your buddy?